Welcome back, Sebastian here. Sometimes F2 drivers think they're playing Mario Kart. The beach sprint race started with Stanek on pole, Bortoleto second. Fittipaldi was forced to start from the pit lane. For opening lap, honestly, opening meters, Bortoleto and Marti crash into the exit of the pit lane. So Marti and Hadjar are starting P3 and P4. Both had really good starts. Stanek not a great start, Bortoleto not a great start either. And basically both Stanek and, well, not necessarily Stanek, but both Marti and Hadjar both try to go to the same space where Stanek effectively is. And it was basically 3 into 1 doesn't really go. And both drivers, into the side of the pit wall. Well, no, they got past the pit wall, but basically they crashed into the pit exit. Both out of the race. Luckily, they were okay. Hadjar miraculously, light touch, light contact, but was able to keep going, and he was actually into the lead of the race. Really reminded me of Singapore 2017, the crash between Vettel, Raikkonen, and Verstappen, where kind of three drivers all coalesced on the exact same spot. Really hard to say who was entirely at blame for that. I think, a little bit of blame attributed to both Hadjar and to Marti, but, I think they said it was going to be under investigation after the race, and we'll see if anything comes of that. So of course we have the safety car coming out, and that was quite a lengthy safety car. Ends on lap 6. Hadjar goes very, very early, and on that first lap after the safety car, Martin overtakes Durskin for P12 at the first corner. Then that same lap, Maloney goes to the gravel trap at turn 6, the Albon corner, and drops several positions. He was in the mid-points paying positions, but dropped outside of the points with that mistake. Lap 8, Hauger overtook O'Sullivan for P7 at turn 8. A really good move there from the Norwegian. Then the following lap, lap 9, Miata overtook Maloney for P10 at the first corner. Lap 10, Hadjar at this point had a 5-second lead over Stanek behind. Looked really comfortable. Stanek not so comfortable, and really doing his best defensive driving to keep all the other drivers behind. And they were starting to form a train behind him. Then we get our second set of incidents. Really strange one. So Antonelli sends it at turn 11. Makes a corner, moves up to, I believe, P3, P4, was very, very close on track, but this really compromises his exit coming out of turn 11. Going into turn 12, it looks like he basically just spins by himself, and then while spinning, takes out Versure, and Aaron kind of gets behind, kind of gets collected by the pair of them, and damages his front wing while going through the gravel trap. Antonelli did come on the radio saying that he got contact from Versure, but, from the off-board cameras, from just cameras beside the track, it looks like he just kind of spun all by himself. So a big mistake there by Antonelli. Of course, looked quite quick this weekend, but that's something he's going to want to learn from there. So then we get another safety car because Antonelli and Versure are both stranded, and that is needed to clear their cars. At the same time, Behrman also at some point got past Maloney in the mayhem there. Lap 14, the safety car ends. Aaron, with his damaged front wing, cuts turn 1, and it looks like it gives himself even more damage there. He would be forced to pit for a new front wing a couple laps later on lap 16. Lap 15, Correa and Crawford very, very close to contact at turn 4. Luckily, nothing comes of that. Lap 17, Durskin spins on the exit curb at turn 10. That's always a tricky corner. The curb there can definitely unsettle the car. He spins, doesn't hit the wall, doesn't really get beached in the gravel, kind of just ends up on the grass. But luckily for him, he was able to keep the car going. So no safety car to end the race. Lap 20, Behrman tries to overtake O'Sullivan for P8. Wasn't able to do so on that occasion. That was at turn 3, but later on would get past the British driver. Lap 22, Hauger tries to get past Miney for the final spot on the podium. Hauger, of course, starting on pole tomorrow for the feature race. Very, very strong pace. But was able to get past the Indian driver later in the lap at turn 9. Good move there from Hauger. Lap 23, final lap of the race. Hadjar, who of course has been coasting in the distance while everything has kind of happened behind him, takes the checkered flag, really comfortable win. Never really had any pressure from anyone else behind him except for that moment in the opening meters of the race. So taking a look at the result of the race, Hadjar Wins sprint race. I believe he won a couple races last year, I believe as well. So not his first win, but definitely first F2 podium for Roman Stanek. Really well done job from him. Hauger third, rounding out the podium. Fourth is Miney, fifth is Colapinto, sixth Miata, seventh Martins, eighth Behrman. First points of the season for those two drivers. Definitely a long time coming. And while at this point the championship looks quite far off, I do think that it's still pretty wide open. There's still a chance for realistically any of the favorites like Behrman, Martins, or even Antonelli, who have had a bit of a tough start to the season, to make their way up to the front. After that, we have O'Sullivan 9th, Crawford 10th, Maloney 11th, Correa 12th, 13th Fittipaldi, 14th Barnard, 15th Villagomez, 18th Correa, 16th Durskin, 18th Aaron, and then your 4 retirements are Antonelli, Bershore, Bortoletto, and Marti. Championship standings, no change at the top. Maloney is still first with 47 points, but Hauger has moved up to second with 37. Fittipaldi drops to third with 32. Fourth is Miney, also on 32 points. Fifth is Aaron on 29, sixth Marty on 26, seventh Crawford on 24, and then Hadjar moves up to eighth on 16 points with his win. Really good result for him after a really tough opening 2 rounds of the season. 18th is Bortolato with 15, 14th O'Sullivan with 14, 11th is Colapinto with 12. Also on 12 is Antonelli, 1 position behind him. 13th is Cordio on 10, 14th Stanek on 8, 15th Miata. Miata's on 5, not on 3. Yeah, that should be a 5 there. Let's see, where's my pen? Gotta get my pen quickly. Yeah, that should be a 5 for Miata. 16th for sure with 4, 17th Villagomez with 2, 18th Martins also with 2, 19th Behrman with 1, and then Durskin, Cordio, Correa, and Barnard rounding out the championship, all on 0 points. Overall, pretty good race, a bit chaotic, a lot of crashes. It's a really difficult track, especially with the changes that have made to it that make it a bit lower downforce, which means that they don't really have the stability and the downforce to kind of help keep them on track. But pretty decent race, a lot of chaos, not a ton of on-track action, but that's kind of to be expected at Australia. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back for my review of Formula 1 qualifying in let's see, a couple hours, I would say. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.